have the secretary's report.
We have the meetings from the last DBDA meeting in May for your review and approval.
Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes as they were circulated?
I'll motion to approve.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Motion approved. Staff report?
Okay, so yeah, I've already mentioned I was going to give a grants update. So DBDA, we were funded the $15,000 Belmont Health grant. I've been communicating with them. They're extremely excited about being a partner, and so I'm excited about growing that relationship. Another grant we wrote was a $35,000 grant to the AARP as a community challenge grant. Monday, I got a rejection email, so I was a little bummed, but that's okay. We'll continue to work on that grant and hopefully get awarded that community challenge grant in the future. So the two other grants I'm currently working on. Our community foundation grant, last year we received $7,500 to do the lights on the building, and we had previously voted to resubmit an application to go towards the funding of the vinyl art box wrap, and so I've started working on that application. It's coming, I think it's the June 9th. It's coming up like the first 2 weeks of June, so we'll be submitting a grant for that. And then also the Gaston County Tourism Grant, we'll be writing.
I have a question. June 4th is already passed.
Not July, I'm sorry.
That's
This is a very
Wait a minute,
small
I'm
cup of
confused.
coffee. No, it's in July. It's, I think, the second week of July when that grant is due. Thank you, Sister Nancy. But so we'll be, I've started working on that. And then the Gaston County, the tourism, I've already met with Michael Applegate about writing a grant for Belmont Balloons, which will be kind of expanding, some things that we're currently doing with our Garibaldi Festival. And so that Friday night, we will have a much bigger band. And so we're writing a grant for that. So I think that's the only grants that we have in the works. But if y'all are see or hear of anything, any potential grants that we should be applying for, please let me know. We'll start working on that.
Okay. You have a Friday Night Live update?
Friday Night Live update. The first two concerts, and I think this might be duplicate to, so I won't say too much as far as maybe in Mark's update for the financial report, but the first two concerts we've done pretty good. We've received, some really good sponsorships, and I still need to, majority of what's left really is after July 1, the new fiscal year, when they will be submitting payments for the remainder of the city, the tourism, Eastwood, Caramont, and so we, right now, we have a lot of outstanding grants or sponsorship funding that will be coming in soon. So. But Friday Night Live, we still need some workers for Friday night, but it's should be a really good concert. We're expecting a really big crowd.
Mark? Treasurer's report.
Okay, like Bill just said, our DBDA budget's in great shape. We had 2 successful concerts. The June 7th concert was canceled because of the bad weather, the rain, but it's been rescheduled July the 19th. The outstanding checks are mostly Friday Night Live related, banners, supplies, beer koozies, and advertising. Uncollected sponsorships and grants, $28,500. And if you look at the back of your agenda there, you'll see the financial report. Checking account balance, $30,207.27. Outstanding checks, $3,410.42, leaving our current account balance $26,796.85. And that's our available funds. Down at the bottom, uncollected sponsorships, I just mentioned the City of Belmont, $5,000, collect after July the 1st. Belmont Tourism Authority, $3,500, collect after July the 1st. Eastwood Belmont Homes, $3,500 billed. North Star Realty, $1,500 billed. Caramont, $15,000 billed, and collect after July the 1st.
Thank you. All right, committee reports, probably promotions. Nothing? Okay, any other committees? Okay.
We want to look at that. Did you get the stuff to
I
work?
never received it.
You never received it? Oh, that's weird.
You can, why don't you airdrop it to me? You got it. I have a child with the doctor's appointment, so I'm on the street.
Okay, I'm getting there. So. Okay, I just sent it to you again.
As an email?
Yes. While she's doing that, Trip Blair and John Church met with Frank LaFragola, I guess that's maybe how you pronounce his name, that's with Catawba 10, which is going to be Jekyll and Hyde Tap House and Grill. And he had some really cool black-lit signage, which I'm hoping we're going to be able to show you guys. Nothing tacky or anything like that. We felt like, our committee felt like it was very appropriate type of signage, but there is a city policy that makes that kind of null and void a regulation, even though there are some, I guess, because of previous things, there are some blacklit signage in Belmont currently. But anyway, we really liked what we saw, and we're hoping that maybe something could be changed to where this would be allowed. If you look at the policy, it's not, it's just kind of cut and dry. There's no specifics about it, because we agree we don't want something just really tacky, that would be, make the town look bad. So we were wanting to bring this before the Main Street Board to see if we could get your support and move forward. I think John and Tripp both met with Shelley.
Trip called.
Or Tripp called you, okay, and talked with you a little bit about it. So that's, you got anything to add to that, Phil? That's about all I know, really.
So a little back story to that. So The sign regulations in our downtown area are that you can, the only type of illumination on a sign is exterior illumination. So if you look at all of the buildings, they usually have little lights, the goosenecks, or some kind of light that point to the sign.
Right.
So internally lit illuminated signs are not allowed in our downtown area. They are allowed in various other areas, such as Wilkinson Corridor, and so forth. And so a backlit sign is still considered an internally illuminated sign. So we had met with the owner of the restaurant and talked with him, and have the planning department is already researching sign regulations, because you have to remember our downtown is really a historic downtown. So we're trying to check with other, to see
Sure.
what I'll just say the norm is for historic downtowns,
Right.
As far as signage, and do they allow internally illuminated? Because then it helps us support a case. So we have been working on it, and we told the owner that we would look into it and then present it to the planning board, and ultimately it will be a city council decision on, because we can't allow it for one. If we change the regulation, anybody in our historic downtown area or the certain zones, like the NCC or the downtown district, would be allowed to have that type of signage. Halo lit signs, we call them halo lit because they call them backlit halo lit because they give like a nice halo glow to the signs. They are very different to other illuminated signs you may see on the boulevards, so they're very nice. So we agree they're very nice, they're very pretty, and I guess talking with Tripp, it's being brought to the Main Street Board to help support, to see whether the board wants to support a text amendment that would open up this particular sign type within our downtown area.
Right. And I think, and this may be sort of what you already said, we're going to look at other Main Street programs maybe throughout the state and get some feedback on them.
Phil sent out.
I sent out all the Main Street directors down, they're all in a network together. So I blasted out an email asking if others allow, and only had one response from the community saying that theirs does not, so.
Well, what I would like to do is, maybe send this email to everybody that's got the different pictures. I don't know why it's not working, but
I got your email, but it didn't include, since it was forwarded so many times, I think it's not, the image didn't come through when you forwarded it.
Well, I'll just send it out to everyone, and if you're just dying to know, you can look at my phone before you leave today. Because there's some pretty cool shots, and it'll give you an exact idea of what they were requesting.
They're very nice, and they're not cheap,
No.
so they're very nice.
Okay. I'll get that out to everybody sometime today.
So if it's going to the planning board, I'm just thinking of timing. So if you're going to send out photos and let the board think about it, the next planning board meeting is the evening of the next Main Street board meeting. So there'd still be an opportunity to send up a recommendation to the planning board. It would just be delivered verbally, or if you have a letter written.
Do we need a motion for that?
No,
This point in time?
not this.
Okay, in the next meeting.
Next meeting.
All right. So we'll bring that back to the agenda for our next meeting.
Should that come from the Economic Vitality Committee, or
No, it should come from the Main Street, or
Okay.
the DBDA.
Okay, all right.
Correct.
Thank you.
Here again, we don't have a chair, so there's no chair report. And new old business, the Museum of the Moon.
I put this here, I don't, so in one of our design committee meetings, maybe 2 months back, one of the committee members mentioned this exhibit. They either saw it or a friend of theirs saw it. It was in South Carolina. We looked it up, and everybody was like amazed at how beautiful this moon exhibit was. They have a couple of the artists out of the UK. I emailed y'all the link. I don't know if you got a chance to look at it, but it's basically this identical, exact replica of the moon. It's like 24 feet. And they have a couple of the moons, and they're traveling all over the world. And so we thought, how cool would that be if we could have that exhibit here in Belmont? And so I've been emailing one of the team members that works with the artist to get the exhibit for 3 weeks. It's a $20,000 exhibit. And so I would like to, so I basically just wanted to just go ahead and mention this. I'd love to start looking at some grant possibilities. I think this would be a great educational component to really work with the surrounding schools in the area, elementary, whatever age they study, you know, the moon or the stars. But I think this would be a really awesome exhibit if we could pull it off. Oh, thank you.
It's really cool.
They, you know, even if, and so it can be, when you host the exhibit, it can be, they prefer it to be indoors, so there's less wear and tear on the moon. You can get it for a 3-week period if it's indoors, but if it's outdoors, you can only exhibit it for 3 days. And I'm thinking
The same price tag?
Yeah. And so for $20,000, yeah, that would be. But
That's great.
so I was just thinking, if we were to work with, you know, the surrounding schools, I'm sure, you know, if it was, you know, $1, you know, for the kids to do a field trip and come in. But I think that we could maybe also generate a little revenue to help host the exhibit. But I would love to start researching some grants to offset the cost or fully fund bringing in the exhibit. Cash and I were brainstorming. We thought it'd be great to have it during you know, the month of October when it's Halloween. This year, of course, it's not available, so I reached out for December of 2020. It is available. And so that would give us plenty of time to try to start researching some grants and writing grants to actually fund the exhibit. So just basically bringing it before the board to see if you like the idea of us potentially presenting this art with a caveat that we write grants to fund it.
When would they need do they need a deposit?
I've actually, and again, I think the artists, they're over in the UK, so our times are different. So I'll send an email, then a day or two they'll respond. So in the packet, I even reached, last night I was reading through it again to see, make sure I wasn't missing anything. But yesterday I did send an email back to the artist, and, you know, because she had previously said that it is available in October of 2020. And I said, what deposit, you know,
okay.
And that I haven't received a response yet, so.
I love this,
Yeah.
but I think we need to plan an event around the moon.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking, how great would it be to have a Halloween party?
Yeah.
You know, yeah, but you could have, but a lot of people do concerts, but during the day, it could be very educational where the students do field trips and come in.
And it was Florence, the
Florence,
town in
South
South Carolina
Carolina
that did this. Have you been able to reach out to them to see where they got their funding and how it went?
That's a good recommendation.
There's a lot of art grants out there.
Yeah, I was going to research like the NEA, they have a lot of, but then, you know, since if we have that major education component from it, there might be some.
Well, I mean, if you have it for 3 weeks, there's tons of different things. Like you said, like the field trips, and then like having an event and like somewhere, you know, like a party around it. Like I think there's a lot of opportunity.
It is 20. I think it's 24 feet.
To have it for 3 weeks, it has to be indoors.
It would-
It's NASA
well,
accurate.
For 3 weeks, it'll be indoors. We'd have to try to
We'd
find
have to have a big facility.
a big facility.
Or
If it
3
was a
days
place that
outdoor.
had Large rooms, within a mile or so.
Yeah.
Well, what about the
Maybe a
outdoor?
Or a ballroom next to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, somewhere, maybe.
Jekyll and
Yeah,
Hyde.
that, we
Snow
mentioned
Botanical
Stowe
Garden.
about
I
partnering
know
with
if
Stowe.
that's-
Partnering with them
See if there's.
might help with the funding.
Right. So that would be, we would need to, so this would give us an opportunity, to start looking
They
at
like doing large
brainstorming
arts.
potential venues that could actually,
The college that has a large.
Yes, I know, right up the road.
I don't even know if that would fit in the Hague
And they
ballroom.
had, I don't, that's a pretty big room with tall ceilings.
well,
It
see,
is
but
tall
some of them, they prefer that it be like 10 feet off the ground. So, but some of the places, obviously, that
You
they're,
had to crawl under it.
so.
And so outdoors out of the question, because being right in the middle of Stowe Park would be amazing.
That would
I
be amazing,
agree.
unless we got,
Or
full
over the
funding
Catawba.
via grants.
At Kevin Lofton Park, have it hanging over the
Oh,
Catawba.
yeah.
And then have the little
Oh, yeah.
amphitheater.
That would be
Yeah,
awesome.
that would be fun.
That would be very cool.
That would be very cool. Could kayak by it.
Watch this. But, so, if you like the concept, I'll start researching grants. And, Mark and Ron, since y'all are in the education world, if y'all can think of any types of grants or know someone that we could reach out to, for educational grants, the Department of Education, we might can apply to. But I thought this would be a great exhibit for us.
Cool.
So,
Any other business?
Green crackers.
no, but they fill it with helium or with air.
And there's
It's-
lights
it's-
inside.
Yeah, they light it internally.
That is awesome.
Would that be considered an internally illuminated sign?
It's art.
It's art, so, yeah, but Wendy Hostetler had a friend, I don't know if Wendy saw it, but she has a friend that mentioned it to her, so she brought it to the board, and we started researching, and, so.
Very.
And that was the only new business I put on that, so.
Anything else? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Meeting is adjourned.
Great, thank y'all.
Maybe we could
Yeah,
get
you have to
REM to
have
do a
like-
concert. You remember they did that song, Man in the Moon?
We could do like Floyd, they make it pink and they change the color.
Get David Gilmour here.
Yeah.
So I have a friend who did he's a musician, Sam Bush.
Sorry.
And he did a song, Howlin' at the Moon.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.